I contracted HIV in Atlanta. 20K cases reported in the last 8 months. I'm seeing a lot of people address this. Let's listen.
In the last 8 months, Atlanta alone, have reported 20,000 HIV cases.
Damn.
I don't know how many times I can say this, but I'm going to say it every day if I have to. You need to keep your legs closed. I don't know what the hell is going on, but sex is not one of them things that you need to be doing. It's not worth dying for. And I don't
That's a
care
fact.
how good the medication is
Right.
now. I don't care that it is now not a automatic death sentence like
Shit.
that as it used to be. I don't care. Keep your legs closed. 20,000 cases in the last 8 months in Atlanta.
The way that she's telling this story with this caption, she made it sound like maybe she contracted it. I don't know if that's the case. She might be quoting maybe another viral video. We're going to do some research here, of course. Let's keep listening.
Is it worth? I wish I would even go visit down there. It is not going to happen.
Right.
And unfortunately, I know some people that have contracted it.
Yeah.
To be truthfully honest with you, all of them happen to be men. It's not worth your life. Protect yourself. Leave it alone. Go get tested together. Know your status. Take PrEP.
What do you guys think? So here's my honest take. I don't know how true this is because this is what I see happen a lot of the times, because it is true that STD cases are rising. But typically after you see a video where somebody talks about a rise in STD cases, for example, you see somebody else who will state a stat that may not be true. I'm going to talk to our AI assistant barista, Ms. Coffee, here and clarify whether this is true or not. We'll ask our AI assistant to do some deep research. But I should say this, though. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Why do we need there to be 20K cases reported in the last 8 months for people to finally take this seriously? I think if it was half of that, or even a quarter of that, that should scare some people straight into being a lot more careful about who they decide to sleep with. Right? Whether this is true or not, we know that STDs are rising, have been rising, aren't slowing down anytime soon. There is a reason. I personally believe there's a reason why God in the Bible tells people to flee from sexual immorality, tells people to not be drunkards, right? These things aren't just so you don't have a good time. And in today's current hookup culture, it's too easy to get laid. We all know this. We all grew up in the same culture. You and me, yes. I'm not here speaking from somebody on the outside. No. I remember it's not that hard to get laid in today's culture, but it's also not hard to catch something serious. Life-changing. And like she said, I don't care how good the medication is. This should make anybody who's not currently unlucky, right? Because there are people who are in faithful relationships and someone steps out. This is terrible. Or you're a victim of your own decisions. Yes, that would be in the category of it's your fault. But if you're currently clean, or even if you're not, especially if you're not, think twice about being out here just being way too freaked out, man. I do not feel bad anytime I get on here and release a video on this topic and scare people. There's some things that need fear to motivate them. Shoot. I know the last video, people were like, hey, thanks, man. People were canceling dates in the last video I released on this topic. There was a man who said, hey, I canceled my date. Who knows who he was trying to hook up with? Let's talk about the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Engaged and soon-to-be married men, hiring the wrong lawyer can leave you with an overpriced, unenforceable prenup. Avoid the trap. Inside my step-by-step guide at fathershaverights.com, renowned attorneys James Sexton and the lead attorney lay out the exact questions to ask, red flags to spot, and proven steps to hiring the perfect prenup lawyer. The guide itself costs only a couple of dinner dates, far less than a single billable hour. Hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section, lock in your guide, and join the hundreds of men securing their marriages the right way. A few top comments here before we verify this with our AI assistant barista, Ms. Coffee. Top comment here says, that's why Tamar said she was getting on PrEP. Yeah, I saw that. Somebody else who says it's dangerous as hell to be a single straight female in Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know she said that the majority of the people she knows are men who have it, but I also know that like specifically black women are like the number one growing demographic with HIV. Like they're getting it at a higher rate. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when this happens to anybody. Somebody else who says, I know it ain't just Atlanta. It's not. Somebody else who says, that's a damn pandemic. Here's somebody else who says, thank the Lord God woke me up and been celibate for 3 years. Amen. All right. So let's talk to our AI assistant barista here, Miss Coffee. Miss Coffee, how true is the news, current news right now that's trending in regards to Atlanta and the 20K cases reported in regards to HIV?
Yes, love. There is no credible evidence supporting the idea that Atlanta has seen 20,000 new HIV cases in 2025 alone, what the official numbers say. Around 1,500 new HIV diagnoses were reported in the metro Atlanta area in 2021. 11, Alive plus 13 Morehouse School of Medicine.
That's still too much for me.
Drink the coffee,
Drink
it'll
the
make
coffee.
you feel better.
That's still too much should be too much for anybody.
Plus threads. Approximately 39,000 people were living with HIV in Atlanta in 2021 Wikipedia. In 2022, Georgia recorded a HIV diagnosis rate of 27 per 100,000, one of the highest nationwide, but still far from 20K. CDC 15 plus Georgia Public Broadcasting 15 plus Wiley Online Library plus 15. Local fact-checkers firmly reject the idea of an outbreak or such a massive spike. 11 Alive. So what's going on? The 20,000 cases number looks more like a wild internet rumor or a screenshot, not grounded in official data. It may be mixing total people living with HIV that is prevalence with new annual diagnoses, but even that doesn't add up.
Right, doesn't add up because there's a lot more people who are living with it.
Bottom line, no, it's not true. And Atlanta is not seeing 20,000 new cases this year. The region does have a serious HIV public health challenge, with high prevalence and diagnosis rates, but nothing that comes close to that inflated figure.
So the 20K cases that I keep seeing everybody talk about isn't true. But again, do you need this to be true to be more careful? This is also not me saying, hey, it's okay to justify lying about data just to get people to act a certain way. I also don't think that's necessarily good at all. But let's see what some other people had to say about this topic.
Now, I'm not trying to say leave Atlanta if you live in Atlanta. I'm just saying if you do live in Atlanta and you just out here fucking around, you just out here just like, oh, I'm about to just smash everything walking. You a wild one.
Right.
You brave than a motherfucker. Cause damn. And those are just the numbers from the last few months. Those are
brave or stupid.
Brand new cases. That's not even like, oh, this is from the last 20,000 cases over the last 20 years. No. These are brand new cases. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine being one of them lame dudes that like to pay for that poo nanny. Then you end up sleeping with one on. Imagine being a woman and telling men that, oh, you got to pay for this. You got to pay for this. And this is the main reason why I say hip hop has damaged a lot of people, men and women mindset. You got the women rapping about prostitution now. You got the men rapping about paying for it now. So now everybody in the world thinking that you have to do either or. Like I stated before, HI is like the new crack. People got that shit, sell it to any and everybody, and that shit just keep getting passed around. Imagine wanting to go to Georgia and Atlanta and just go to bars and parties and all that. Just hear me out. Imagine you at a crowded function, right?
Right.
And you walking through the crowd and you feel a little needle poke you or something. You really don't feel it because you in the club, you having fun, and you drinking. You know what I'm saying? Might be smoking.
That's crazy. I remember hearing about that. You know, they would talk about how apparently people used to go to raves and like poke people and you could get HIV that way. I bet you that kept a lot of people out of those rave buildings. Do I think that happened to the level that it was kind of talked about? I don't think so. I think that's borderlining a bit higher on the sensational level. But do I think it happened? It probably happened.
Then a month later, your body started feeling weird. Now you got that shit. Imagine going to the bar and you turn your head for a split second and somebody put something in there. Now you got that shit. Imagine hanging with some people that you think your friends and one of them got that shit and then soon you turn your back, they put something in your food. Now you got that shit. Listen, y'all better be careful out here. Don't never say what a person won't do to y'all. Now, I'm not just talking about Georgia. It's other places too. But right now, Georgia is cutting up. Atlanta is. They cutting up.
So I actually don't think I get where it's coming from. Like, oh, people could poke you, or someone could put something in your food, or people are out to get you. I heard him. I think it's a bit too paranoid. What I do think is that people minimize just how easily they could get it. A lot of people think someone will be out to look for them and give them that. I think a lot of the times it's the attractive person you may see on the other side of the screen. Right? It's the person who you look at and think, wow, look at her. She's so beautiful. You think that everything's sweet, but you don't know the type of demons these people are fighting. And this is the lesson I really want men to take from this video. Is every decision you make in life has its consequence. Living a sober life has benefits. For example, I haven't had anything to drink, not because I had necessarily a problem, but because I wanted to be more productive. And I think a lot of people are realizing that alcohol really has little to no benefits. So I haven't had anything to drink in like 3 years. I have a bar. I love the taste of beer, but I just haven't. I've gotten a lot of benefits from that, right? I've been more productive. I've made the most money I've ever made in my life in the past 3 years. I built a whole nother business, fathershaverights.com. A lot has happened. And I don't think it was all because I cut out alcohol, but I do think that cutting out alcohol played a big part in that personally for myself. Now, what are the drawbacks? I love the taste of beer. I do. I don't think there's anything wrong with, depending on how it affects you, right? If it's not like super detrimental, I don't think there's anything wrong with like a glass of wine or like a beer once in a while. But a lot of people minimize the negative effects that that glass of wine or that beer really has on them because they're not honest about just how often they drink, so on and so forth. And so the benefit of drinking is you get to feel that good feeling when you're enjoying your beer and you're having a drink with friends and you've got all these people around you who you're getting along with, because let's be honest, most of those people you wouldn't be able to get along with if you weren't drinking like that. That's the benefit, right? You feel good. That's the benefit. You feel good. Without it, you have to work for that good feeling. You don't have that liquid courage backing you up. Living a life where you're trying to implement sexual discipline. What's the lack there is you don't have all those sexual experiences. That may feel good in the moment. Yes, wrong things feel good. Welcome to the reality. How do I know I've done wrong things in my life? They felt great. But after, and I'm not perfect, but I've made deliberate efforts to be better. And that's all I hope that we all do. But what's the consequence of those bad things right after? They come with very horrible consequences. You don't hear about the amount of tests that people are taking when they're out here sleeping with this person and with that person, making sure they're okay. People are going through hell. People are having kids. People are having babies. People are losing their lives over coochie. A lot of men losing their whole well-being, life, peace of mind, being stalked, falsely accused, sometimes rightfully accused. Women too. Don't think the women aren't capable of this, but right now I'm talking to the men. But don't think women are also incapable of this. There's women out here just as freaky and just as careless. They don't ask you and say, hey, when's the last time you got tested? Most of them just don't. You know this. You know this. At some point, you have to say, I need to be better for the rest of my life. I need to stop what I'm doing and either find yourself a good woman, settle down. If you can't do that, use protection. Protect yourself to some extent.
If you are not celibate, ladies, this is the time to be celibate. The HIV/AIDS infection rate is going up extremely quickly. Houston is a hot spot. We already know about Atlanta being a hot spot. Now I'm hearing about the Carolinas going up in STD rates. If you are not celibate, it's time to be. You don't need to be sleeping with anybody. And you for damn sure don't need to be sleeping with anybody unprotected. I just saw a video of this woman yelling and screaming outside of this man's home as he's coming out. He's getting in his tow truck, yelling at him. And she said that this man gave her AIDS. He gave her 12 STDs. You just heard what I said. 12 STDs in 6 months. First off, if you got one, why the hell was you continuously sleeping with this person after the fact? It is a wrap on just having casual flings and sexual encounters with people, because you just don't know. People are out here just reckless, don't care. They know they have a STD. They know they have something that they can't get rid of, and they do not care. They will spread it to you because they want you to hurt and be miserable like they are. Close your fucking legs. We need to close our fucking legs for more than just that, because pregnancy is the absolute not in this country at this point, because hell, you'll die from that too. It's a wrap. It's time to wrap it up, close it up, whatever you got to do, because it is not worth your life.
A few more comments here before we end this video. Top comment here says, the rose for the win. Oh, shoot. This person, he says, that's going to mess you up. Another person says, I'm trying to give my rose a funeral because it definitely mess you up. What do they mean it mess you up? What do they mean? The rose. For people who don't know what the rose is, it's basically like a toy. You know, I assume most people who watch my content are adults, but it's a toy that was very heavily promoted at some point. What do they mean mess you up? Let me talk to Miss Coffee. Miss Coffee would know. Miss Coffee, I'm reading a comment section here on the topic of people saying they rely on their rose to relieve them so they don't have to be out here in the streets. And this lady says the rose messed her up, as in it messed her up in some shape or form. What does she mean exactly? Some of you may know. Comment down below.
Ah, love, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. They're referring to the rose toy, the little rose-shaped suction vibrator that blew up on social media. When a woman says the rose messed me up, she usually means one or more of these things. 1. Sensitivity issues. The rose is very intense, way more powerful than most traditional toys.
Damn.
Some women report that after using it regularly, they become desensitized during normal intimacy. In other words, it takes much stronger stimulation to reach climax,
Whoa.
which can make partner sex feel less satisfying. 2. Addiction to the sensation. Because it's quick and efficient, women may start to rely on it exclusively. That fast dopamine effect can condition the brain to expect that exact type of stimulation, making natural arousal or slower buildups less appealing. 3. Relationship side effects. Some women say it messed them up emotionally in their relationships. For example, their partner might feel inadequate compared to the toy, or they might lose
Mercy.
interest in regular intimacy since the rose is always
Might lose is a wild statement.
available and guarantees results. 4. Physical discomfort. Overuse can also lead to soreness, numbness, or even swelling. It's a
Wow.
powerful suction-based toy, and daily or prolonged use can be rough on the body. So when she says the rose messed me up, she's not saying it's broken her physically for life, but rather that it changed her sensitivity, her expectations,
Might be for life though, right?
or her relationship dynamic in a negative way.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.